It looks like Anna Kasparian is back at it again with her outrageous takes about Tulsi Gabbard based off of literally nothing at all. And although she didn't think that we would catch this one, luckily we have a lot of great supporters who were anxious to make sure that we saw this egregious claim, because if she's claiming it here, this probably isn't the only place that she's making this claim. And this might be one of her most egregious claims yet. Let's talk about it. So, with Kamala Harris being knocked out of the race and everyone basically accepting the fact that it was obviously Tulsi Gabbard's efforts in the July debates that led to Kamala's pitfall, if you will, in the polls and ultimately led to her falling out the race, it seems that a lot of people have taken issue with this. People who, of course, claim to be progressive. Not surprisingly, Anna is actually one of the people who have come out and attacked Tulsi over Kamala dropping out in the weirdest of ways. Now, she was in an exchange with a few different people, and she actually ended up in an exchange with Pasta Jardula from the MCSC network. And in this exchange, there was a discussion about, Tulsi's integrity, about the fact that she stepped aside from her post at the DNC committee, or the Democratic National Committee, I should say, in 2016 in order to support Bernie Sanders. Now, apparently, Anna takes issue with this claim. And Anna felt that that wasn't the real reason that Tulsi stepped down. In fact, let's go ahead and talk about the real reason according to Anna Kasparian. Now, this is Anna's tweet. Now, like I said, it's pretty bad, so just stick with me here. She didn't resign from the DNC on principle. She was already having issues with Dems due to her constant criticism of the left, not referring to terrorist acts as radical Islamic terrorism. She also refused to condemn Modi in the House resolution following the slaughter of Muslims. Whoa. When you want to talk about taking it to left field, oh my God. Like, how do you go from she didn't step down from the DNC on principle to Modi slaughtered Muslims and she wouldn't condemn them? First of all, those two things are completely unrelated. And I feel like I've had to educate these people. By these people, I mean like the Anna Kasparians of the world, the Emma Vigilants of the world, etc., over and over again. And I've even had to address this particular issue, not the first part of the tweet, but the second part of the tweet in a recent debate I did. But I'll go ahead and do it again anyway, because clearly Anna does not know facts. And she doesn't separate facts from fiction. So, Anna claims that Tulsi had a problem. The reason she really stepped down from the DNC was because she had a problem with the left not referring to terrorist acts committed by radical Islamic extremists, radical Islamic terrorism. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and break this tweet down piece by piece. She didn't resign from the DNC on principle, even though she said she had issues with the DNC. Even if I accept Anna's claim as true, right? You're saying she left because she had a problem with the way that the Democrats were handling radical Islamic extremism. Wouldn't that be leaving on principle anyway? It isn't a principle that you like, but if I accepted your claim is true, it would still be principle. I don't think you actually understand what that means, but I digress. She says that she was already having issues with the Dems due to her constant criticism of the left, not referring to terrorist acts as radical Islamic terrorism. Okay, so first problem with this entire tweet. Why are you conflating the Democrats with the left? Not to mention, that's not what Tulsi said. Tulsi's issue was that Obama wouldn't refer to radical Islamic extremists who call themselves extremists and radicals as radical Islamic extremists. But instead, like we have done over and over again for decades, almost a century now, we refer to a lot of radical Islamic extremists as moderates. And then what we persist to do is to fund them, give them weaponry, have them fight our battles, and then eventually we either turn on them or they turn on us. Usually it's us who turns on them, and then all of a sudden they're terrorists again. Isn't that crazy? That is what her issue was. Her issue was the fact that we keep trying to codify certain groups as something they are not. That was her issue. A lot of people have issues with that. Anyesha Battle, it's like Anna's doing this for clicks at this point. I know, that's what you would think, but she got ratioed. She got ratioed bad in this one. Now, once again, why you are she does this often. If you've noticed that she keeps conflating the left with Democrats, like Tulsi was because she attacked the head Dem, which was Barack Obama, or she critiqued. She didn't really attack him. She criticized Obama, the head Dem. Therefore, she's attacking all Dems. Therefore, she's attacking the left. What Anna seems to completely forget, even though her show is supposedly dedicated to challenging corporate Democrats, most of the Democrats are to the right of most of the left. Steve Mnuchin, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, Kamala Harris. Like literally, Elizabeth Warren is about the middle of neoliberals, and even she is on the right on most issues, and she used to be a Republican. Why do you keep conflating the left with Democrats? We are most of us are not Democrats, and most of the left, quote unquote, who are registered as Democrats are only registered as such because they wouldn't be able to vote in any meaningful elections otherwise. It's not the same thing. But what she's trying to do is gaslight everybody into thinking that Tulsi was critiquing the entire left. What she's doing is being disingenuous. What she's trying to do is make it so that whatever you associate Tulsi Gabbard with anything involving the left or anything involving Islam, you're associating Tulsi with attacking the entire left over not labeling somebody correctly, which is not what Tulsi did. And once again, we have example after example to help explain why this is such an important issue to Tulsi. One, I don't know if you all know this, but Muslims actually communicated with her that they would prefer that you identify the ones who are committing terrorist attacks as they are. The reason why is very similar to why we as in the black community demand that you call radical Christian extremism exactly what it is. When they said that Dylan Roof was just some random shooter, he was just a mass shooter, the black community was up in arms. No, call him what he is. Why? Well, for one, if you are a Christian, you don't want it, because that's what, remember, he said God told him to go kill all those black people. You don't want people to think that you're like this, man. He needs his own category of crazy. He is not emblematic representative of the Christian community at all whatsoever. And for black people specifically, we wanted people to know that that is an extremist form created, extremist perverse version of whatever the hell he wants to call religion. And it was specifically created or at least utilized to target this particular and specific group of people that happen to look like us. And it needs to be codified as such so the next time we see it, we can treat it accordingly. That is the importance of labeling. I don't want every single, like everybody, like for example, if a high school kid does some stupid stuff because he just was depressed and he killed 2 people and like that's a problem, but that's a whole different problem than Dylan Roof saying that God told him to walk into a church in Charleston, South Carolina and go shoot up black people specifically because religion. That's 2 different things, right? I think we can agree, and we should codify those 2 instances as such. That's what Tulsi was saying. But even if all of this was bullshit, even if everything I'm saying is wrong, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Why wait until Bernie Sanders is running for office to say that? Because Bernie, least of all, talks about quote unquote radical Islamic extremism, especially when you're comparing it to like a Hillary Clinton or somebody. Hillary Clinton, based off of Anna's analysis, would align more with Tulsi's views. So why wouldn't Tulsi align more with the Hillary Clinton thought process? That is, and that same thought process is of course used to wage war or wage the war on terrorism, which Tulsi fights against. So why wouldn't she just stay in the DNC? She's making it seem as if Tulsi resigned from her position because of her disagreement with Obama. But she could have resigned from that position already. So you're telling me she resigned from the position and endorsed Bernie Sanders because of something that Obama did? Anna, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Come on, Anna. Like, I'm starting to worry about you. I'm legitimately starting to worry about you. Because your logic isn't even flow. I mean, your logic didn't flow before, but it's getting worse, honestly. Now, I want to deal with the second part of this tweet. Anna also says that Tulsi refused to condemn Modi in a House resolution following the slaughter of Muslims. That's not what happened, actually. And it's funny because she's conflating these two situations as if they are both the real reasons that Tulsi left the DNC, left the Democratic National Committee. Once again, completely unrelated. But second of all, Anna's wrong. And once again, it's a self-defeating point because you know who introduced this resolution to condemn Modi after the slaughter of Muslims? It wasn't Democrats, idiot. It was Republicans. That was a Republican resolution. And it was a Republican resolution to condemn Modi of something that he had been found innocent of. But more specifically, it was a Republican resolution that was created because Modi wouldn't allow the West to come in and spend their money and use their evangelicals to force Christianity upon Muslims and Hindus. Because if you know anything about Western imperialism, if you know anything about Western colonialism, what is the first thing they take away from you? They take away your beliefs and they install their own. Because the Western ideology is generally very dogmatic. It is very authoritarian. It is invested in this idea of blind faith. And when you have blind faith, you're less likely to question the authority that is speaking down to you, even if they are abusive, right? It is the same Bible that was used to justify slavery of black people. Let's be very clear. So they know why they push Western religion or Western religious ideology onto these groups of people. And Modi is no idiot. Modi passed laws saying you can't just spend a bunch of money coming here and forcefully convert people. And that's what that Republican resolution was about, Anna. Maybe you should have read it. I don't know. Maybe just read the resolution. Instead of going to Peter Friedrich, the Hindu phobic, literally, like, he is a radical. He props up radicals, radical jihadists all the time. And that's where you got that information from, genius. He brought it to me first. And I was the one who debunked it for him on camera right in front of everybody in San Francisco. Pasta Jardula was standing right beside me when it happened. And it was a lot of sheiks were there. A couple of Muslims, and they were in a big circle. And I was legitimately curious because I wanted to hear what their opposition to Tulsi was. And it was a fair critique if the critique was honest. However, I put up the resolution right in front of them. I said, well, this seems like the opposite of Tulsi doesn't want us getting involved in anybody's government. So there's that. That's the norm. And I showed them, I'm like, look, this bill is basically saying, or this resolution is saying that they want to be able to convert you without any interference from Modi. But do you even know how they convert people? Well, let's look up some research. And we researched. I'm like, look, this is the tactics that they're using to convert Muslims. This is the tactics that they were using to convert sheiks. This is the tactics that they were using to convert Hindus. And it's unfair. It's not right. It is underhanded. It is everything that the West is, right? As far as using religion to just pursue our hegemonic goals. That's just what we do. It's the norm at this point. And so what you're attacking Tulsi over is not supporting a Republican resolution and then trying to somehow link that to the reason she left the DNC. So not supporting the Republican resolution is linked to her not to leaving the DNC. If her critiques of the Dems were that bad, if her critiques of the left were that bad, why didn't they just force her to resign, Anna? Oh, better yet, why were they so mad when she left? If it wasn't for her leaving on principle, why was she only exclusively attacked when she left for the very reason of supporting Bernie and not attacked for any of the things that you just listed? Curiously, I'm just curious. John McCarthy, Madeleine Albright helped murder 500,000 Iraqi children and bragged about it. And Anna loved it. You know what's funny? I was just about to bring that up. It's funny too because when Anna interviewed Madeleine Albright, bruh, she was just gushing. She's the first Secretary of State. Oh my God. Oh my God, I just love you so much. It's just such an honor to interview. It's such an honor. You know, it's funny, Anna. And ironically enough for Madeleine as well. Wasn't that Madeleine Albright who said there's a special place in hell designated for a woman who doesn't support other women? And even though I don't necessarily support that notion, I just find it wonderfully ironic the way that you women attack one of the youngest women of color, one of the only women in the race who has stood on principle her entire career, right or wrong, because Tulsi has not been perfect. But when she learns the truth, she gets it right, unlike Anna Kasparian, who, when she learns the truth, she doubles down. Anyesha Battle, do you think Kamala or Tulsi will endorse Cenk? Actually, to be fair, Cenk has been really nice to Tulsi. Like, he never lets Anna just shit on Tulsi without any pushback. I will give Cenk that. That's all I'm gonna give him. But it's crazy to me that we have people who are trying to attack Tulsi on their own principles. But once again, you'll sit here and claim that Tulsi hates Muslims. Tulsi wants to stop murdering Muslims because she hates Muslims, which is the weirdest thing ever. Tulsi tried to introduce legislation to pull out of Syria, not just recently, but in 2015, to end the regime change war in Syria. She went to Syria to see how we were hurting their people. And I can tell Anna has never seen one of those videos from Tulsi where she was in Syria talking to the people on the ground, because she wanted to hear what they were going through. And when she saw the pain that they were in on the ground, oh man, she just kicked into overdrive. She was not going to allow the United States to dictate the narrative of Syria, and she was not going to stop until she ended the regime change war there. But that just must be because she hates Muslims so much. This is ridiculous. It's so much wrong with this tweet that I don't even know. Like, I didn't even know where to start, because it's just literally, she says the Democrats and the left are the same thing, that Tulsi was critiquing the left when she wasn't critiquing the left, nor actually was she critiquing the Democrats as a whole. She was just critiquing Barack Obama. Okay? There was that. And then also the Modi situation where she's attacking Tulsi over not supporting a Republican resolution to allow them to evangelize the Hindu and Muslim people in Gujarat while Modi was the governor there. This is Anna Kasparian, everybody. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to know what your thoughts are about this. Leave a like in the comment below. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to us on Rockfin, and always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, if YouTube is giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps. Other than that, always remember, people, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.